Hi, it's Nelson again from Canada. Today is May the 18th, Sunday, 2025. And in the previous video, I was at 3850 East New York Street site where Sylvia Likens was kept for many months and was tortured, and finally where she died. And after the service today, I came here to Oak Hill Cemetery in Lebanon. Now I'm going to lay these flowers on her grave. And maybe I should just put them here. Roses for Sylvia. And just want to read from this book, House of Evil. I want to continue from where I left off today, which is on page 80. And this is one of the last moments of Sylvia's life. This is after the evening where the neighbor, Mrs. Vermillion, heard noises in the middle of the night, and it was coming from Gertrude's house, but the noise stopped around 3 a.m. and so Mrs. Vermillion didn't do anything. So and the next day, Sylvia was really out of it. She couldn't recite her alphabet past D, and it's probably due to something traumatic which happened the night before, which probably uh, Gertrude went down to the basement and and hit Sylvia probably on the head really hard. So now I'm going to read on page 80, at the bottom on page 80. Marie had stopped down in the basement. "Hi, Sylvia," she said quietly, waving her hand slightly. Sylvia's hand moved slightly, and she tried to say something, but it appeared to be too much effort. Marie left with Jenny. "You faker!" Gertrude shouted at Sylvia. "Clean yourself up." At Gertrude's request, Randy Lepper had brought over his parents' garden hose so that Gertrude could clean out the basement as he understood it. When he reached the bottom of the steps, he saw Johnny turning the hose on Sylvia, laughing. Someone had covered the girl's body with Trend detergent to aid in the cleansing. Gertrude, who had climbed the basement step back to the kitchen, saw that Sylvia was home now and explained that Sylvia had an accident in her shorts. She asked Stephanie to wash Sylvia. It was about 5 p.m. Stephanie dropped her book, trotted down the stairs, and saw her brother already washing Sylvia with the hose. Sylvia, half lying, half sitting, was mumbling something incoherent. "Turn off that hose," Stephanie instructed her brother. She intended to carry Sylvia upstairs for a bath, but found her too heavy. Stephanie, worried, began to cry. Ricky Hobbs had done his homework, changed clothes, and eaten dinner, and he was on his way back to the Benichevsky house. He was a little curious about Sylvia. When he opened the Benichevsky back door and walked in about 5:30, he slipped down the basement stairs. Gertrude was slumped against the wall crying. Stephanie, cuddling Sylvia, was crying too. "What's the matter?" the boy asked. Stephanie said she thought Sylvia might be dead. But Hobbs detected short-labored breath from Sylvia and, with Stephanie's help, managed to drag the girl up to the kitchen. Her skin was cold, and someone wrapped her in a blanket. Hobbs thought she was having extreme trouble breathing and began to apply pressure respiration. Stephanie ran upstairs to turn on the water for a warm bath. Soon Johnny, who had finished hosing off the basement floor, called from upstairs that the bath was ready. Stephanie grabbed Sylvia's feet, and Hobbs grabbed her under the arms. They started up the stairs. Near the top, Sylvia's wet, slippery body fell from Hobbs' grasp, and her head banged on the steps. Gertrude followed them upstairs. "She's faking," she repeated. "She'll be all right." But when Stephanie began to undress Sylvia from the bath, Gertrude ordered them to dump Sylvia in the tub with her clothes on. "Hurry," she said. Sylvia managed to groan. "I wish my daddy was here," she moaned faintly. After the bath, Ricky and Stephanie dried Sylvia and dressed her in warm clothes, a sweater, and pedal pushers. They laid her on the mattress in the bedroom. Gertrude followed them to the bedroom, shouting frantically, "Faker! Faker!" She picked up a book and slapped Sylvia hard on the side of the head. Hobbs practically pushed the hysterical Mrs. Wright down the stairs. Shirley brought up some hot tea and asked how Sylvia was doing. "Oh, she'll be all right," Stephanie assured, as she had already suggested to Ricky to call a doctor. Stephanie raised Sylvia's head and brushed the girl's hair back. She seemed to revive somewhat. "Oh, take me home, Stephanie," she pleaded. Suddenly, she stopped breathing. Hobbs came back in and put his ear to her chest, listening for a heartbeat. "Do you know how to give mouth-to-mouth respiration?" he asked Stephanie. "Yes," she said. "Okay, give it to her," Hobbs said. Gertrude wandered back into the room, screaming. "Stop screaming and get out," Stephanie ordered. She began the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and Sylvia began breathing once more. Stephanie understood that Ricky had gone to call the police instead of a doctor, and she was hoping they would get there soon with a mechanical resuscitator. She still was expecting police to arrive to revive Sylvia when they rushed into the room, but to her dismay, they did nothing. Sylvia was dead.